Democrats like to say that no one needs an AR-15 for self-defense, that no one could possibly need all 30 rounds. But when this rifle is the only thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods, you just might need that semi-automatic and all 30 rounds.
Let's start with who the hell this guy is and why we're going to talk about him today.
Yeah. Okay. So Jerone Davison he's a former Oakland Raiders and Arizona State running back.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yes. He's a football player. But yeah, he is a running back. He was a running back. He's now a pastor, and he is running to represent Arizona in Congress as a Republican.
All right, so let's dissect this video. I think little by little, because there's a lot of imagery. There's a lot going on here. Yeah. So it opens up with a guy in a hood, a Klan hood, with the Democratic symbol on their chest.
On their chest,
yeah,
yes,
the donkey.
Alluding to the fact that in 1865, that the Ku Klux Klan was founded by not the Democratic Party, but Southern racist Dixiecrats, otherwise Democrats. Mm-hmm. That's what he's alluding to with that. He's saying that, Democrats are Klansmen.
Okay,
right? Yeah.
Right.
He's jumping straight back into 1865, which it seems is where he wants us to go to. He wants to bring the nation back to 1865, when the Democrats were, by and large, the KKK was a democratic social club, right? And they were terrible. When I say social club, I'm not saying like, they were just shooting pool and like mowing lawns and hanging out, having
mojitos.
But first, mojitos.
They were not doing that. They were fucking terrible, and they were considered and labeled a terrorist organization. I believe that was in 18. You can quote me on this, or I'm sorry, don't quote me on this, but fact check me on this for sure.
Okay.
At 1871, I want to say there was the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And at the time, this is when the KKK was still a democratic club. So in the 1800s, right? Yeah. In the 1800s, the KKK was so bad that presidents had federal jurisdiction in order to send the bureau after these guys, shut them down, break up the Klan, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So they, by and large, the KKK that he's referring to was disbanded. And in 1915, it was resurrected. Mm-hmm. After that movie came out, The Birth of a Nation. Mm-hmm. This new KKK, they expanded their hate reach. Not only were they anti-Black, they were also against Roman Catholic, Jews, foreigners, and organized labor. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. What does that say? I mean, like, come on, man.
Those are the tenets of the Republican Party, like, now.
Jews will not replace us!
Lincoln was a Republican president, one of the first Republican presidents. The Republican Party at the time was very much the, I want to say, socialist party in that they passed like the was the Emancipation Act of 1866? Yes, so they were doing these things, and yes, Southern Democrats were super racist. I mean, they were in the South. Nobody's disputing that Southern Democrats were racist. But then between Lincoln freeing slaves and the 1930s, where Roosevelt came out and ran and won on the New Deal platform, between those years, it wasn't a flip overnight. It took almost a decade. But between that time, you had racist Southern Democrats, or Dixiecrats. They decided, hey, I don't like where this party is headed. They're giving too much credibility, or they're trying to treat people as equals, basically. And so they slowly started to vote Republican, and that's where the flip happens, right? It was the movement of racist Democrats into the Republican Party, which makes up the Republican Party today.
I will be Donald Trump's most loyal advocate to make sure his nominees go to the Supreme Court.
One person can definitely change the party to something else, kind of like what Trump did. It kind of transformed the party super like it was already heading there, but it was a very drastic change to what it actually is now. It's really different. Like the Republican Party from like the 90s is like it's not even close. You know what I mean? It's such a far. So in terms of historical context, you could see how the parties changed and ideologies changed and politics changed. And so years later, the Republican Party could be super progressive. And then you'd be like, yeah, but that was like ran by Trump at one point, like back like 100 something years ago. It's just weird that they throw back to these old things. It's all they want to go back. Let's make America great again. Let's go back in time. Like, weren't things great back then? It's just like, no, man, they weren't. Do you read?
Take a look,
nigga,
in a book.
my nigga.
That's the issue that I took with Jerome Davison's videos, because he wants to jump back to the 1800s, calling Democrats hooded Klansmen, and completely erase from 1915 up until around 1970, where the KKK came back as a Democrat and Republican club. But then as slowly, up until around 64, that's when it started to lean really, really far alt-right. And then you start to get into neo-Nazism and stuff like that. And that's where the KKK is at today. So for him to make an ad in 2022 when the KKK is full of Nazis, but saying that they're Democrats, it's false. Like, it's 100% false. It's revisionist history. And he's playing to the base in a way that he's playing on the fact that he knows that minorities at this point are kind of getting fed up with the Democratic Party.
Do you think he's really trying to talk to minorities here? I don't think he is.
No. I think he's trying to siphon off some of the minority voters who are getting fed up with the Democratic Party, but his base is definitely white Republicans, 100%.
Right, who want that black token. They want the black token dude on their party.
Got them a old Clayton Bigsby. They got them a Clayton Bigsby in the wing, and they're putting him on stage. Let him do his dance, yo.
So there's this screenshot of him staring out the window, pondering life with the fucking rifle in his hand. Very reminiscent of the Malcolm X, a really famous Malcolm X picture. Now, these two dudes couldn't be further removed in terms of ideals and
it depends, but that depends. If you ask Jerome Davison, he's gonna be like, nah, Malcolm X hated white people, and he's gonna forget about the whole evolution of Malcolm after he went to Mecca. You got to look at where Malcolm started and where Malcolm ended, and I think you got to do the same thing with the KKK. You got to look at where the KKK started and where the KKK ended if you want to make a video like this.
I would consider myself a pretty progressive. I have so much beef with the Democratic Party right now that it's another video to make, because Jesus fucking Christ, all this kind of stuff this shit is scary. Look,
him saying go get you a gun.
I got mine, I hope you got yourself a gun.
Nas told us to do that too. I agreed with Nas when he said it, and I also agree with Jerome when he said, I agree. Get yourself a gun. Things are getting crazy out there. Just have one to protect your home. Now, here's the thing though. Do I need a AR-15 with 30 rounds to fight some weird hooded dudes running up on my lawns with rakes and bats? Nah, because that's what he showed us in that stupid video. Like, these guys aren't even armed. I'd go to jail. I go to jail for shooting an unarmed man in my yard. Some dude walked through my yard with a rake. Like, there's no defense for that. I think the only difference between his video and my video, as far as Democrats wearing hoods, I'm wearing a hood right now. I can't walk outside after dark with this hood on though, because I very likely might get shot by somebody with an AR-15 and 30 rounds, thinking I'm coming to attack their house. So if he wanted to show Democrats in hoods, what he should have done was got a bunch of black and brown people and just had them wearing like Nike sweatsuits and shit. Put the hood up, and then his ad makes sense. When Democrats in hoods come across your lawn, you're gonna need this AR-15. That would have made more sense.
How do you feel about a lot more like kind of progressive people getting armed? I've had conversations with like friends and girlfriend and everything about, like, the other day, she had mentioned something about going to a gun show, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, We go to farmers markets, and then I was just like, I mean, yeah, I guess, but I've had that thought before. I just not a gun show, but I've had that thought before of like, I think when I felt the last time I felt that really strongly was when Trump was being nominated and the potential of him being a president, and I just kind of saw the future, and I was just like, this is not gonna get better. Like this is gonna get progressively worse.
And you were right. You were right. Things have gotten progressively worse,
Yeah.
and you should have gotten a gun, and so should I, and so should any other progressively minded liberal out there who's on the fence. You need to protect yourself. That's not the part of this video that I have issue with. He's absolutely right. You should have arms to protect your home. Do you need an AR-15? Probably not. But hey, it's America. If they're selling it to you, I say why not, right? Why not? Because at the end of the day, you know how you get gun laws enacted? Be brown and go buy AR-15s legally. We'll see change really quickly.